Can I?
Mm-hmm.
So today we're going to talk about the reasons why you should build a shipping container house.
So let's get started. I'm Duca.
And I'm Roberta.
And together we are building our own tiny shipping container house.
So don't forget to subscribe
And to join us every Monday for a new episode. Just a small disclaimer before we can start. Everything we're going to talk about on this video is only our opinion. That's our humble opinion. That's what we think right now. We might change in the future, of course. But right now, that's what we think.
So reason number one, you should build a shipping container house.
When you buy a shipping container, the structure of the house is already done. That means even before you start building the house, you already have the structure. And even more, you have the roof. That means that you can store your tools inside and not get them wet. That's pretty cool.
If it doesn't come with holes on the ceiling, on the top, because in our case, the shipping container had some holes on the top that we needed to fix.
Yeah, but as soon as you fix these small holes, these small problems, you have a shed, you have a place to store your tools and you can work inside, and that's pretty good until you open the windows and doors. Yeah, as soon as you open windows and doors, it's gonna rain through the sides.
But there is ways you can fix this problem.
But it's gonna rain a lot less than if you had a house from the scratch. If you live in a place that rains a lot, it's a really good solution to build a house in an easier way, I think.
I think the second reason is because the structure is really strong.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The structure is supposed to, I think you can load 4 shipping containers on the top of each other. That means it's a really reinforced structure. And the floor, it's made in a way that you can put lots of loads inside. That means it's really strong.
So I think the third reason is durability.
Yeah, the kind of steel, Corten steel that is used on a shipping container is really strong. And even though there is some rust, this rust takes so long until it creates a hole.
We have some rust that came with the container like 2 years ago almost. And it's still there, the same.
Yeah, they didn't change much.
Yeah.
It's like it's really slow, the speed of the rust. The only place that rusts really quick is where you have water in a puddle. Wherever there is water puddle, and then you're gonna have a hole really quick. And that's the reason why we said you need to fix the roof, because most of the puddles are gonna be on the roof and on the small corners on the main beams around the shipping container. But this beam is really thick, so it's not a huge problem. The roof is the problem. But as soon as you fix the hose and you fix having any water puddle, it takes a long time until you get a hole on the shipping container, and that's pretty good.
Next one,
if you treat well, it's even better. If you treat the rust and you paint, that it can last for, I don't know, forever, I guess.
Can I keep going?
Yeah, okay.
And I think the next one is sustainability.
Yeah.
Because it's something that it was used for transport for like 15 years maybe, and now it's turning into a house.
Yeah, I don't know if this rule is worldwide, but at least in Brazil, you can only use a shipping container to transport in a ship for 15 years. That means after 15 years, you need to stop using that at least to ship the shipping container. And this one is exactly 15 years. That means it had its life, and now we're giving a second life, and that's pretty good. It's it's not recycling, it's like reusing.
We are building our new life inside this.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. What else we have there?
Next one.
Yeah, we need to write down because we cannot remember everything, you know.
Mobility.
You can talk about mobility.
If you have a shipping container, depends on the project you have. Like our main idea was to have just one container that we could move around to another place. So if you have a shipping container in a way that you can move, you can build a house in a place and then you can move to another place.
Yeah, that would be awesome. The original plan was actually to do that.
If we need, we still can do this, but it's gonna
take 3 months of work to detach both sides of the house.
But we still can do it.
Yeah, the reason why we did that, we explained on episode number 2 a year and something ago. We can leave this video here. We have a lane that the shipping container wouldn't get here if we didn't cut the shipping container in half.
They can see the
you can see the explanation there. But originally we wanted to have the house in a way that we can put in a truck and take somewhere else and change place.
So the other advantage is that you don't need to have a land. You can just rent a land, or you can rent a land for a period and then you can change the land.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You can keep moving.
And you can also you can also sell your house if you change location, if you get a job somewhere else and you need to sell the house, if you have a regular house, you need to sell the house and the land.
Yeah.
If you want to sell only the house, you can sell only the house. Or if you move to another state and you want to take your house with you, you might be able to take your house with you, and that's
really good.
I think that's probably the main reason.
Yeah.
I think anyone should build in a shipping container,
Yeah.
considering a tiny shipping container house.
it's more-
Because some people in Brazil, for example, most of the shipping containers house, they have like 5, 6, 7, 8 shipping containers, and then
It's not movable.
and then things start getting complicated.
Yeah.
Our intention was not to build a huge house, was to build a shipping container house as a tiny house, a really small house.
So
And
we have just one 40-foot shipping container.
yeah, this is a 40-foot cut in half and turn
Yeah.
90 degrees, and that's what made it not transportable. We are saying things that theoretically would be good, not mean that we did. Yeah, you got the point. Yeah, we are not perfect, of course.
Oh, you can build in the house in another place, and then you can just transport and put in another land. So it's really good.
Yeah, that makes building in a shipping container possible to be really much cheaper and quick. Because if you do quicker, you do cheaper. So you can build house in a factory, and if you do in a factory, you have the control ambient, so it's environment. So the environment is really controlled, and you can build a house in, like, I don't know, 2 months, 1, 3, 4
Can be
months,
really quick.
or
Not
you
in our case.
can do it yourself, like we are doing, and we've been doing for a year and a half already.
And another thing is that you can prepare the land to receive the container, and meanwhile they can work inside the shipping container, and
Yeah.
you can build a lot of things at the same time, so you can earn some time.
Yeah, and also that the footprint on the land is really small.
Yeah.
We have exactly 7 footings, small footings, that the house is not even attached to the footing, it's just laying still on the top. We don't have earthquakes. Of course, if you are in New Zealand, if you are anywhere that there is earthquakes,
Japan.
everything changes. Japan, everything changes. In our case, if we want to take the house off here, we just need to cut both sides of the house, get 2 trucks, take the house away, and take the footings off, and we have the land exactly as it was before.
And the land is more breathable. It can
Yeah.
breathe, and it's not.
Permeable.
It's not. It's permeable.
Yeah.
So-
That means that you change less the environment where the house is,
Around.
because if you have a huge house, that place the house is sitting won't be permeable anymore, so the water is going to change the drainage situation, and like it is, it's almost exactly as it was the land before we put the house here, and that's pretty cool.
I think the other one that we have here is it's a clean building. It's a dry building, so there is no cement, no just
Concrete.
for the
Footings.
footings. But then we don't have this.
Yeah.
Just the paintings.
Yeah, I mean, like some other countries build everything in dry buildings already, like wood frames and steel frames. But in Brazil, or at least I think in most of South America, where we live, all the buildings are masonry, and masonry is a really dirty and creates a lot of trash when you build something out of masonry. So for us, this is a really good advantage of building on a dry building.
Yeah.
Of course, that's not the only dry building option, but it's a really cool one and looks good. I really like the look of it. Yeah, that's another point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The aesthetics.
Aesthetics, yeah.
Aesthetics. We like it. We love it. So it's another advantage if you like the.
Yeah, if you like architecture and you like this industrial look of architecture, you can have like an industrial look outside, and inside you can look like a cozy home. And talk about industrial, as the shipping container is metal, that a lot of people say that the insulation is a problem, but at the same time the metal heats up really quick, but cools down really quick also.
Yeah.
Masonry, on the other hand,
Keeps the heat.
it's a little bit slower to get heat, but once you get hot temperature on the masonry, takes forever to slow down and to cool down the temperature. So
like an oven on the summer.
yeah, it's like an oven on the summer. So that means that the temperature of the house can be, if you insulate well, can be perfect. It doesn't. A lot of people say it's a problem, but can be solved.
Not at all.
Not at all. For us right now, it's fine.
If you choose the correct materials, if your project has the correct architecture, that the air can flow through the windows. It all depends on the project you have.
Yeah, that's another thing. Everything we are talking about can change and can vary depending on the design of the house you plan.
And
changed a lot.
the place you live.
And the place you live, of course, yeah.
We are in the south of Brazil, so the weather here is mild. So
yeah. It's mild, a little bit hot sometimes, but it's mild. And as you said, the design, we are using crosswinds. We are basically in a region that there is south and north wind. So we have windows on the south and on the north. The south where it's higher, so the hot air can come in through the north and go out through the south. And this situation, if you have the right amount of windows in the right places, it's not hot at all inside. You use the nature to help you instead of our conditioning. We are not going to have air conditioning, and we think it's going to be fine.
And you can work outside to not allow the sun to hit straight to the container plate. So
yeah, external insulation.
Yeah, external insulation or just a shade.
Shade, yeah. Use shades in favor. Yeah.
Or some tree.
Yeah. Do you have anything else? I think we're...
No, I think that's it. If you have another reason, you can leave us a comment below, and we can leave the disadvantage for another video.
Yeah, because of course nothing is perfect, and there are a few advantages, and we intend to shoot another video in the future about that whenever we don't finish a project. Because because we know you guys were expecting us to finish the shower cabin today, but as you know, last week we were out of town and we came back really late. Today is Thursday.
Tired.
Yeah, we drove last week 3,000 kilometers and we did a lot of things. We shot 2 episodes with different channels, 2 episodes. Yeah, one you watched already last week, but we have an extra one that we didn't show you yet.
But we are really happy with the week we had.
Yeah, the week was great. The concert was amazing. The guy, that was really good. We drove a lot, but we met a lot of good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We met a lot of good people.
This is a different story for the future. We have a lot of news about this trip that is not the right time to tell you, but really soon you're gonna know everything about the trip. That was, life-changing trip. That was, we deserved a week of life-changing trip again. That was pretty good. But I guess we're talking too much already.
Next week,
see, guys, today she spoke more. Everyone say that I speak too much, but she was good today.
I think because I'm happy, so
yeah.
So next week we are gonna go back to the building episode.
Don't worry, the channel is not changing to Portuguese. Last week was an exception because the guy we visit, he don't speak English, so it's not fair for us to speak English if he doesn't speak English. From now on, we are back to building and we are back to English, not Portuguese. Yeah.
So we see you guys next Monday.
See you next week.
We also want to thank our new patron.
Amber, thanks so much. Welcome on board. And I guess
see you guys next week.
Next week.